We have spoken with several of the developers that are competing for 3 downstate casino licenses that will be awarded later this year. Tonight, we're going to take a look at a proposal to build a casino on Coney Island. The developers behind the plan include Thor Equities, the Chickasaw Nation, and Saratoga Casino. The proposal is set to create 4,500 permanent jobs and more than 4,000 construction jobs, with a commitment to set aside at least 25% of the jobs for Coney Island residents. The casino would include a 500-room hotel and 2,400-seat concert venue. Joining me now to talk more about the pros of this proposal, we've got Peter McEneaney. He's the Executive Vice President of Thor Equities. Welcome to the program. Good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, is there a housing component to this or no?
No.
You're just talking about the actual entertainment
Just
district.
the entertainment complex. So
yes.
the building's comprised, it's a 1.4 million square foot project, that the gaming floor is actually only 25% of the project. Mm-hmm. There's a 500-key hotel, as you mentioned. There's an entertainment venue. There's a convention facility that we think is a very strong component part of the project that will bring small-scale conventions to southern Brooklyn, which doesn't exist today. And then there's a strong retail component as well.
And very important, you're not talking about changing the zoning of the area, right? Because it's already an entertainment and amusement
Correct.
district.
Coney Island, right now, the amusement district is zoned as an entertainment district. Mm-hmm. This is compatible with the New York City zoning, and we've gone through a ULURP process to demap some of the streets, make them pedestrian streets at the end of the day.
You're talking about a $200 million community trust fund that to revive, uplift, and energize the area. What kind of projects would that go for?
Yeah, I mean, the $200 million trust is something that we thought about early on, and we heard through number of conversations with different community stakeholders, how do you give something back to the community? And this was an idea that we came up with of how to put dollars in the hands of organizations and projects in Coney Island, right? It can be used for after-school programs, institutions, small-scale projects, boardwalk improvement, restroom improvements, those type of projects that will be governed. The trust will be governed by local politicians, local stakeholders, and they will decide where those funds are spent. So it truly is at the discretion of the people of Coney Island. One other thing that we've been thinking about, and through this process, talking to the community, is how do we do something else, right? And we've come up with and this is the first time I'm announcing this here tonight, we've come up with an idea to create a community investment fund where people can invest directly into the Coney Island project at a small scale, a minimum investment of $100, and put those dollars alongside our dollars in the project. And we think that's a great way, through community feedback in the process, that we can bring people and engage them in the project as well.
So if I write you a check for $100, and you're describing it as an investment fund, what's my return on it? What happens?
It would be the same returns that we have as a project as a whole.
Okay, interesting. What kind of margins are you thinking about?
We think we're going to be very successful at the end of the day.
Okay, very interesting. And that's really more for buy-in. You don't need this capital.
No, it's purely a feedback we received from the community, that people want to be part of the project, they want to be engaged, and we thought this was an opportunity to let people, local residents in Coney Island and Brooklyn, invest in the project.
A lot of numbers and a lot of different funds. I want to make sure we keep them straight. You're also talking about a fund that would go for public safety, for NYPD, correct, FDNY, EMS services. Yeah,
I mean, I'd say the number one thing through all of our conversations with local stakeholders through the time was make Coney Island a safer place, right? Right now, Coney Island's very seasonal, as we all know. Memorial Day to Labor Day, it's busy. There are people there. During the winter months, when there's less people, there's more crime. So how do you kind of enable the NYPD, EMS, FDNY to enhance their presence locally year-round? And the amount of people that will visit this facility, thousands of people a day, plus the enhanced patrolmen, will make Coney Island a safer place at the end of the day.
Well, what's the vision of how to get people there? I spoke with one of the critics, and one of the concerns I know you've heard is about transportation, that there are choke points to get onto what is basically a peninsula. Yeah,
no, absolutely. I mean, transportation, similar to safety and crime, is one of our top priorities. And for our project to be successful, we need to solve the transit problem. And we've taken the approach with our consulting team to create a multimodal transit strategy, right? Coney Island today has great infrastructure. There are 4 subway lines that go to Coney Island. They're underutilized today. There's an express line that exists that used to have an F Express that went to Coney Island. Bring that back. Bring ferry service to Coney Island. Right now, ferries go to Rockaway. Why don't they stop in Coney Island? All of these things, once you create the critical mass of people there year-round, will demand infrastructure improvements that get people out of automobiles and onto mass transit, which is what all New Yorkers at the end of the day want to do.
Is there a technical issue with ferry service? I mean, I'm trying to think of ferries coming through sort of the seaside where there's like waves and real surf.
Right now, if you're standing in Coney Island, you watch the ferry fly by Coney Island and park in Rockaway.
Got it.
I think we could figure out a way.
Build a pier or
There's
a
a
dock,
pier
whatever it is.
what's even better, there's a pier that exists, the Steeplechase Pier today. Bring the ferry there.
Okay, sounds very interesting. There's at least one representative, my understanding is that Alec Brooke-Krasny, the assemblyman, is just a hard no, just doesn't think it's a good idea. What else are you hearing from some of the stakeholders?
I mean, we've spent a lot of time in the community talking to electeds, local business owners, residents, and we think we put forward a very impressive project, and we look forward to working with the CAC through the process, hearing their feedback and incorporating things that they think are fit.
What kind of traffic as far as people coming for the hotel, for the casino, for the entertainment? What kind of numbers are we talking about coming that don't normally come to Coney Island?
Our projection, during the summer, obviously there's going to be people that come to the facility, but also enjoy the boardwalk. I think we really see our project bringing thousands of people a day to Coney Island that interact with Coney Island as a greater whole. And people that stay at the hotel, your family comes, they stay for the weekend, they go ride the Cyclone and all of those amusements that are there today, which are great institutions in New York City.
The next hearing is, I believe, next Wednesday, right?
Correct, September 10th.
And what are you looking to hear there? Are you still getting valuable input, or are people just kind of?
No, we've been at a number of hearings but even before the CAC process started. We look forward to hearing the residents speak on September 10th. Hearing constructive feedback and trying to incorporate that and work with the CAC through the process.
And so the casino license would enable a full table gaming. The Chickasaw Nation, they're already involved in some gaming elsewhere, right?
Yeah, so we are partners, the consortium we put together between the Chickasaw Nation, Saratoga, who runs a large casino in upstate New York, successfully in New York State, and Legends to manage the hospitality. And the Chickasaw Nation actually runs the largest casino in the country in Thackerayville, Oklahoma, which is surprising. It's bigger than any casino in Vegas, but they've obviously run that
You mean physically bigger? Or
it's 1 million square feet.
Wow, okay. And what are they telling you about this? They like this as a possibility?
Yeah, we've been working obviously with our partners, and everyone's been a great partner to date and for over 3 years on this project, and we're tremendously excited.
One of your critics that we did hear from showed a rendering of it. I guess it was their rendering. I don't know if it was your rendering, but for perspective for people, it's like it's going to sit there kind of right next to the Cyclone, right?
It's not next to the Cyclone. It's actually a few blocks west of the Cyclone, so it sits right across from the subway station and across from where Nathan's is. And this sits on 4 city blocks, 5 acres, and the existing amusements around it are remaining untouched. So you will still be able to ride the Cyclone, you'll still be able to ride the Wonder Wheel. All of those rides are meant to stay.
Oh yeah, a few blocks west that's the parking lot, basically.
Correct.
Right? Yeah. Okay, very interesting. And Thor Equities had this land for a while now, right? You were trying to.
We've had the land for a number of years. We put together an assemblage, and we've been leasing it seasonally, right? The challenge with Coney Island from an economic development perspective is that most development does not make sense because it's a seasonal destination for commercial activities. And the amusement district is specially zoned for commercial and entertainment uses that is tough to survive for 3 months a year.
Got it. So this would be year-round entertainment. Okay, best of luck. We'll see how all of this works out. Thanks so much for coming by.
No, I appreciate the time.